Hi guys, so I'm gonna reread Twilight. I'm so excited. As you can see, I was not at all prepared for this video. I was playing around with makeup, just having a grand old time, and I was like, it's time. I can't push it off any longer. Let's reread. I've been really craving to reread Twilight for years now. Specifically this last year, it's hit me the hardest, and I've been having a hard time holding it in, and it's mainly because I re-watched all the films last Christmas, as in 2018 Christmas, and I just haven't been able to be like, I want to read it and I want to watch it again, like over and over. But I've been holding myself off. I've mainly held myself off because A, school, pain in the butt, and B, a friend of mine casually mentioned once that she's terrified to reread it because she's scared she'll hate it now, and that kind of got me. Cause like, this is my thing. Like, Twilight for life. Like most people on the internet, Twilight is what got me into reading. Well, specifically, it got me into thinking that books weren't for nerds. Because I didn't really start reading and branching out until 8th grade, which is 2 years after I discovered Twilight, because all I wanted to do was reread Twilight, Harry Potter, and the Hunger Games over and over again and never put them down. I mean, can you blame me? It's a pretty good life if you're reading the 3 of them. Once I was introduced to other books, I didn't really read Twilight again. It was mainly because my friends hated me rereading. They got sick and tired of me doing the same stuff, and then I got introduced to the Mortal Instruments and stuff, so things changed. I found myself a new favorite book, which The Infernal Devices will always remain superior as the best book of all time to me, the book trilogy series, whatever you want to call it. But Twilight will always be in my top 5. Top 10. Oh my god, I'm jinxing myself. Knock on wood, knock on wood. I'm freaking out now. I'm currently on winter break, and it ends in 5 days. And I am just now getting the courage to finally pick the book up. So, it's a rundown copy. I made sure to pick one of my rundown copies. I own 3 books of the first one. I own 3 copies of every book, actually, in the series. But I chose a rundown one, so that way I can flip-floppy it all over the place. I know I could have easily downloaded the digital version for free, but I feel like that's so wrong. I love to read EPUBs, like they're my go-to, but for Twilight, she deserves the book in my hand. It deserves the same feeling I got as a child, and that's what I'm going for now, which is why I chose a rundown copy, because I will not damage my good copies. So I'm using one of my rundown copies because she'll probably get manhandled a little, even though I'll try to be nice. This is still all over the place, and I apologize. Basically, let me explain what this is. This is my rereading Twilight journey, okay? I'm going to reread Twilight, and I'm going to clock in with my thoughts, my feelings at any time, and my overall summary of how I feel about it now. Some of these clips will be taken from my phone, probably most of them, because I'm going to get lazy and not want to pull this out every time I want to say something. So maybe the final edit will be me and camera glory, whatever. I understand no one's probably going to watch this, but I really could care less, because I'm going to show this to my kids one day and be like, look, this book did something to your mother. You know what? I'm going to show this to my son, Edward. If you didn't know, naming my firstborn son, Edward, after Edward Cullen. I'm going to be like, look, this is why your mother named you after a beautiful character, now read it. So yeah, I'm just going to start reading now because I'm ready to go. Alright, I'll see y'all in my next check-in. Bye! One, I'm a complete and utter idiot because I forgot that Edward reads minds. I'm sitting here reading it, and she mentions how she's an open book, and he's like, on the contrary, I find you very difficult to read, and I'm like, wait, he reads minds. How'd I forget that? In all the times I've read Twilight, I've never ever noticed this. I don't know if it's because I'm older and rereading it that I'm seeing everything with a new eye, but the thing where she wears like matching clothes to the meadow with Edward, and it's like, oh, it's a surprise. I always thought that was so cute. And now I'm just realizing she laid her clothes out the day before, and he sneaks into her bedroom, so he totally saw it and then matched on purpose. And I am just, this is so cute. I finished Twilight. I am so happy, like so happy I reread this, like living on cloud 1000 right now. I only included 2 clips, and I apologize for that, but really I just could not stop reading. There were a lot of moments I did stop reading. It took me like 3 to 4 days because I went and visited family or went on car rides where I was unable to read. But when I wasn't doing those things, I was reading. Like TikTok? No, don't want to watch it. YouTube videos? Not really care. I just want to read Twilight. Earlier, I mentioned that I was scared to read it because I was scared I was going to be let down, disappointed, and not like it. How wrong I was. I should have never let those silly fears get in my mind because this book is just as amazing as I remembered it. And honestly, it could possibly even be better than what I remembered. Everything about this was just so good and loving and heartfelt and just... And I don't know, because it's been so long since I read it, like about 8 years, that the things that I have remembered, they just felt more powerful now. And then there were things I didn't remember, so it was like reading it all for the first time almost. For example, she was in the lunch line and she picked up a lemonade, and I immediately was like, oh wait, that's like my second favorite scene of the entire book, when her and Edward are sitting at lunch and he's spinning a lemonade cap on his finger. And I couldn't remember why I loved that scene so much. I just remembered him spinning a lemonade cap on his finger. And then she had lunch with him and I was like, oh, it's literally this scene. It's this scene. And it was just so cute and sweet, and I was like, oh. And then I had my favorite scene of all time when I was younger, when they're like making out against a Jeep, almost, kinda, because he's like trying to tempt her to make her forget about everything. The lemonade scene is now my favorite, and the Jeep part is my second favorite. They're just so good. You know, here's the weird thing, now that I'm older. When I read Twilight, the first time I read it, I remember I didn't really associate the movie with it because it had been such a long time since I saw the movie to when I read it that I didn't really remember all the Fawcett details because the movie wasn't available anywhere online illegally yet. So I like went in and made up the characters on my own in my mind, and I was kind of scared that it wasn't going to be like that for me now, since it's been such a long time since I've read the books compared to how many times I've seen the movie. And I used to read the books like a million times, but that was years ago. So I was nervous, but as soon as I picked it up, it's like my image of Bella and my image of Edward came immediately to life, and the acting versions were gone. It wasn't them, it was my versions, and it just... I love them so much. Nothing bad to the actors, because I still love them. I still love the movie Twilight, but I will say that reading this as an older person versus the movie, I'm kind of disappointed in the movie now. I remember being younger, being like, no, Twilight the movie is perfect. It's a perfect play right off of the books. But it's because I watched the movie and that got me into it. But now that I'm older and I love the movies, I think they're beautiful. I still think they're so well done and amazing. But we're missing all the cute, beautiful parts. Like the growth between Edward and Bella and their little chats. And like a million questions towards each other. And how she really discovered he was a vampire and told him. All of those little key things. And then Jacob not really feeling a little iffy, and then her flirting with him. Like they're important little things that you need to see to build the growth of the relationship, and it's sad that we miss all of it in the movies. That's probably the only bad thing that came out of reading this book, is that now when I'm going to watch the movies, I'm still going to be so immediately in love and happy, but I'm also going to be like, you could have had the lemonade scene in here, you know? Also, am I freaking crazy? I thought in the book there was a scene where Bella drops an apple and Edward catches it in his hand. I mean, I know it happens in the movie. For some reason, I thought it happened in the book too, so I was waiting for it. Maybe it happens in the rewritten version, Life After Death. I don't know. It's been a long time, y'all. Another bad thing, I guess, there's another bad thing apparently, is that I feel like such a fake Twilight fan now that I reread this, because there are so many parts of Twilight I forgot about. I'm a twihard. I'm a die-hard fan. I was that person that was obsessed with it. Everybody who knew me knew it. It was my personality trait, practically branded across my forehead, okay? I love Twilight. So the fact that I went all these years separating myself from it and going into this and not remembering all the details, like, it astounds me. I remember vividly going Black Friday shopping with my mom when I was like 12, 10. And we were at a shoe store and they had a competition. And if you could answer the random questions, you won a coupon. And they asked the make and model of Bella's car in Twilight. And your girl here was the only one who knew the answer. She knew the year, the type of car, the color car, everything. And now here I am, like older adult me, like, it's orange. It's red. What are you on about? My memory's going to shot. All these facts I knew, I could practically quote this thing. And now it's like, you know what I'm saying? I like want to make it a yearly thing now where I read Twilight every single year. Just so I don't let it fade. And you know, this is really interesting me to reread all my favorite stuff, like the Mortal Instruments, Infernal Devices, all of that, because those were fantastic, but I only read those once. I never reread those. These I reread like a gazillion times. I know for a fact I read Breaking Dawn at least 10 times. Like, hardcore for these. So since those were only like one-time reads, I wonder how I'll feel now, especially because I mark the Infernal Devices as my favorite. Twilight, always going to be up top 5. Beautiful, especially now that I've read it and I still absolutely love it. Also, I did not, this is so random, I'm sorry, I just can't stop ranting. This book is so freaking long, it's nearly 500 pages. It's 498 pages. Young me did that. Like, no wonder I was so proud of myself. Like, I did that. I'm just so happy I reread it, and I saw how lovey-dovey Edward and Bella were, and how flirty they were, and how cute they are. Oh my gosh. I love them so much. Like, it just reinforced my desire to name my firstborn son Edward. Like, he's being named Edward, and rereading this, it was just like, see, he's so funny. He's like funny. He's not just like serious Edward. He's also funny and sweet and kind and beautiful and romantic, and like I want to start New Moon immediately, but I also don't want to start New Moon because it's not that long after the beginning that Edward disappears, and then I'm gonna be stuck with Jacob. And then nothing wrong with Jacob, but I did not like Jacob as a kid, mainly because you try to pit someone against my man, I'm automatically gonna hate your person. So Jacob was like, I hate your guts, stay the heck away from Bella, leave her alone, Edward's better than you. Like, you know, I just had that mindset as a kid, and I'm wondering how that'll be now, because I still feel like that in the movies. I'm like, heck yeah, Bella, punch him right in the face. But I also kind of accept his relationship with Vanessa now, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Reading Twilight and my aftermath. I know I didn't really talk about a lot of what goes on in the book, but I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, everyone knows what happens. So I just mentioned some little tiny things that aren't in the movie. I just love this book, y'all.
About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and didn't know how dominant that part may be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was something irrevocably in love with him. What is it?
Unconditionally. I really thought I was going to get that quote perfectly, but no. It was dominant, that part might be. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. Ugh. This is literally the last thing I'm going to mention that I forgot. Last thing I forgot, it was the whole James thing where she was on the chase. Also, they didn't realize, but in the prologue, you know, it does the whole thing where I never given much thought to how I would die. She never says that again in the book. Like, am I crazy? I thought she did. Like, it's a prologue, so it's supposed to be, I mean, I guess it's just a prologue like she's thinking, but usually a prologue is somewhere taken randomly out of the book. So I don't know if I'm just crazy or what, but I thought that was somewhere else. Thanks for listening to me rant about how much I love it. Alright, I'll talk to y'all next time. I'm gonna read New Moon. See you later, and bye! Am I stealing Simply Neological's outro again?